Hello friends, this is Growl. Welcome to Wafflecat Weekly number 7. This is a day late. We've been having some issues lately, and as one piles onto another, my water cooler and my computer broke. Just, decided it was done working after one whole year. And it was causing some weird things happening, and I didn't quite understand what was going on, but we are back online. The operation was a success, and here we are. So we are now recording this video on Wednesday, and we'll sneak in some other stuff at the end as a little bit of an extra treat that I haven't been able to do in previous Tuesday opens. So let's go right ahead. What is this? Time-worn keystone. So it's Legion Mythic Plus again. See what, did I get anything for that? Okay, whatever. We're gonna open this first. Let's see, we did quite a few keys, but not many on Prodigy. Here we have a Haste Verse pants, the exact same pants as we have. Unfortunately, only one. Too many of those. Poor Prodigy, man. Get some research. Don't understand why there's a limit to how many you can have. We'll take these. Bam. All right, so I have this key. Affixes look pretty nice. Is this not the guy to get your Legion key or whatever? Maybe it's in my inventory and I'm just dumb. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. You can see I'm sporting my Mage Tower transmogs that we earned last week. For better or for worse, the one on the Monk Panda one doesn't quite fit. Alright, I think we don't do too many keys on our priest nowadays either. Crit Mastery chest. I already have Crit Verse. Doesn't seem particularly interesting. We'll take tokens on this guy as well. Bam. What does this guy do? I'm getting some sort of quest, but I'm not getting a key. Well, there's that. Isn't this the guy that... Or is it this guy? Is this the guy for the new key? A fell path through time. Do you have to, like, remove this quest and take it back again or something? I'm not getting my Legion key. Sorry, I'm sure you guys already figured this out yesterday, so... Let's check on our Druid. I know we did quite a few Druid keys last week. I think we might have at least 2 different options. See what we got here. We are in Bear Loot spec. Looks like we were trying some Mage Tower attempts. We got a Crit Haste Cape and a Haste Mastery Helm. We already have a better helm. I would say this cape is better for sure. So at least we have an upgrade on our Druid, get a little bit more haste. We'll take Crit Haste for show. A fell path through time. So this guy did enough Legion Mythic Plus. And I have a normal Raid Dom Socket helmet, which is not the coolest reward, but it is what it is. Time. Okay, so this guy has a quest for me now. Maybe because I didn't turn in that quest last week. I'm sure there's some way to get it, but so my Druid got one. Maybe if I bet if I relog, that quest will be back. It's probably the situation. Although I'm sure you guys have already written in the comments that Alright, so now on to our shaman. We did quite a few shaman keys last week as well. What do we got here? A shield, but it has high mastery, not super exciting. A crit haste chest. And a haste mastery helm. High so we're looking for stats that do damage. So both of these items are high mastery. The shield gives me 9 more int, but it's still a DPS loss because I'm losing out on a lot of verse. As much as I want a 252 shield, I think I'm just going to go with this one, because this is also an upgrade too. I lose a little bit of verse here, but... Bam. Test enchants. Alright. Upgrade on the druid, upgrade on the shaman. See what our paladin gets. I don't know how many keys I did on my paladin. My paladin's going to be a very disappointing box because I didn't raid, I think, either. I didn't raid, and I didn't raid next week because I was having computer problems. Maybe I might sneak my paladin into a raid somewhere, but my paladin's box is going to be disappointing. We were busy with a great push, but we have an extra bonus after this. Alright, what do we got? Crit verse shield. And a crit mastery neck. I don't think I would use this. You could in theory. It's not a bad decision if you feel like you have too much haste. I'm just gonna pick this anyway, because I don't need tokens on this guy anyway, so I'm just gonna take this shield just as like a gear swap option. If I feel like my haste is too high, I'll just throw this down here. Alright, well that's that. But wait. We have one more character to do. Well, now you get to see the lack of editing in these videos. I'm just loading back up my my EU WoW client. Maybe I could have had this open already. I don't know if I can have it open on 2 different... We have Dorky Fan, our... EU Blood DK. Normally I can't include this because the box is on Wednesday in EU and not Tuesday, but because we were doing this video on Wednesday, we have the box. We can see what our Blood DK gets. We've been very disappointed with our Blood DK items so far. Let's wormhole to Orbos. Show you our two items so far. We do have a scale. We got this trinket, Blade Dancer's armor kit, and then we got another trinket. So we've gotten 2 junky tank trinkets from our weekly chests. We've done more 15s this week though. We should have 2 options on our Blood DK, so if we only get 2 more trinkets, this is going to be pretty disappointing. This week shouldn't be too bad. This will be a fun week to tank, I think. Time Worn Keystone. Alright, let's see what we got. And... okay. So we have an IQD and a crit haste gloves. Our current gloves are... Is this even a tank trinket? What is my loot spec on? We're actually going to get another stupid trinket, I think. I think this is going to be another stupid trinket. I don't want to go... I could just upgrade these gloves with Valor. I know this is an item level upgrade for me, but I don't want to put on an item without verse on it. That's heavy crit. I think I'm actually going to take the IQD. I think I'm going to take the IQD. I don't even know what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe I'll like bind it to something. Bam. We have an IQD. A lot of people are probably mad right now that I have this stupid thing on my Blood DK, but here we go. Now we're an IQD scale double unused Blood DK. It is perfect. All right, let's talk about the affixes real quick. We got on the Legion side, Fortified, Sanguine, Quaking, Infernal. I kind of like that. on the Legion side. Imagine if there's just like 3 leagues of Mythic Plus going on all at once. There's the BFA, the Legion, and the Shadowlands, and you can just sort of decide like what dungeons you want to do and like bounce back and forth, and like there's different leaderboards. That had a ring to it. Anyway, Sanguine, Quaking, Infernal. This week's gonna be Fort Week. It's gonna be the first fortified week of Legion, since we've only gotten Tyrant so far. I think, yeah, to be honest, I don't have that much experience in the Legion dungeons. Can open up MDT real quick. The only dungeons I really spent a lot of time in are, I guess I'll just go over my thoughts on the dungeons, and we can see if, like, you know, there's anything to talk about. Blackrock Hold seemed difficult, but not super bad. Some of the trash in Blackrock Hold, like the archers and stuff at the beginning, was a little bit annoying. So this dungeon might be somewhat difficult. I would say this was on the difficult side. Court of Stars, I think, is super ideal for it to be fortified. All the trash in here is like super easy. The only two hard parts of Court are the 2 last bosses. So Court of Stars is like really good. Sanguine, I think, is fine if you end up like disabling the constructs and then Sanguine healing them. I don't know how that works because they're yellow mobs, but I assume they probably still heal. But other than that, just be careful with body pulling stuff. Sanguine causes you to kite and move around a lot, and Court is a dungeon where you are very often like in between packs and there's stuff that you don't want to pull. So just be careful with your Sanguine management. Sanguine might be a little bit tough in here, but Sanguine doesn't last nearly as long as it did in Legion, so it's not super bad. Darkheart Thicket, I would say I've only done this dungeon once, and I wouldn't say Sanguine is too bad. It's pretty wide open. Yeah, it's like one narrow trail or whatever. Maybe like in here, I don't know if these guys drop Sanguine, but I don't think Sanguine will be too difficult in here. Overall, this dungeon was like, yeah, okay. I don't know. I didn't really do this in any level that I can comment on. I have a Shara. Sanguine, we actually played this in MDI. Fort Sanguine, Quaking, and pretty chill. This is a pretty fine dungeon for Sanguine. The only problems are when you're doing like really aggressive pulls and you have like lots of mobs with different health and you're kiting big stuff. Like for an MDI setting, Sanguine was pretty hard, but for just like your vibe, like, you know, go into Legion and have fun experience, Sanguine in here will be pretty chill. It's not something you'll have to worry about too much, but just know that like all these little guys, all these crabs, all this stuff drops Sanguine, so you'll have some big old puddles. Nel's Lair, this one shouldn't be too rough this week. I think the hardest part about Nel's Lair for me was the first boss. The first boss in Nel's Lair seemed pretty overtuned, and it was like kind of a wall. But once you get past the first boss, you can pretty much get past the rest of the instance. And given that it's not tyrannical, it's fine, I think. Vault of the Wardens, like aesthetically and like mechanically, is probably my favorite dungeon. Again, I haven't played it too much. I think Fortified is probably good in here. There's not too much like difficult trash that you have to fight. So yeah, I think it shouldn't be too bad for Vault this week. And then in the Shadowlands side, we have Fortified, Bursting, Storming, Tormented, which is again another very good week. I think these are the weeks that are, this is like going to be the last set of push weeks on the calendar. There will be other good weeks. I wouldn't be too worried if you can't play this week, but if you're like, you know, really looking to slam some score or just push up some keys after watching Great Push, this is definitely a good week for it, because we have this UI is messed up a little bit, but next week is Raging Volcanic Tyrannical, which is another very good week. So back to back we have two really good weeks, one for Fort, one for Tyrant. So this is definitely the time, if you were looking to get some score, maybe try and make a push for that hero title, this is the time to do it. I would say now we'll have to worry about bursting a little bit. So there's going to be a few areas that you'll have to be careful of. Like one area, like the other side, is basically very easy this week, all the way until you get to Ardenweald. And then depending on how big you're pulling and how controlled your DPS are, this area can be really tough. Just know that, you know, everyone struggles here. It's fine. Be careful about your defensives, your immunities, your dispels. As a healer, the best tip I can give you is just keep yourself alive, because even if you have 2 people die to the bursting because you can't heal it and then you res, it's fine, right? But when you die yourself as a healer and then you have to, like, you know, walk back or like you know, whatever, someone has to use a battle res or something messy, like that's the time when things go wrong. So your number one priority for these is just keeping yourself alive. If you die to the bursting, then that's y'all's fault. Halls, these could be some hard pulls on fortified if you're pulling lots of stuff with the shards. Be careful about big pulls with the shards and the groundskeepers with bursting going on there. But once you get through the 3 shards, I think the rest of the dungeon is pretty easy. Miss, I think, is pretty chill as well. The trash pulls are pretty controlled. There's not really any big bursting pulls, so I think Miss will be pretty chill. Plaguefall, again, the same thing. You have this big blob pull that kills everyone every week on bursting, but other than that, it's not too bad. Sanguine, I think, is pretty chill on bursting as well. Like these ticks in the very beginning can be rough, but once you get rolling in this dungeon, it's not too bad at all. Spires is fine as well. I'd say that Fort Spire is probably a little bit harder. The bosses in Spires aren't particularly hard, but the trash, especially in Pugs, a lot of times it can feel like the trash is just like bursted down before it does too many mechanics. And so pushing in Pugs and high Fort Spires can be a little tough. But other than that, like Sanguine isn't too bad. You just have to, or sorry, it's not Sanguine, it's Bursting. Bursting isn't too bad. There's not much you have to worry about here. Wake, again, very, very good week for Wake. This is looking like we're gonna be doing some high keys this week. Almost nothing you have to really worry about in Wake with bursting. Storming can be a little bit annoying with the like the tank. For some reason, I just always have memories of like storming in this dungeon, like the tank getting knocked around and like the cleaver guys, the marauders cleaving people. Lots of annoying stuff that can happen there. And in theater, again, theater pretty chill. Not too much to worry about here. Just normal. The whole W, Dratnos, no skips are out, and you should be good to go. So I mentioned earlier that I've been having PC problems. I've been going through some shit lately and just, you know, can't get a break. Appreciate your guys' support, but, you know, hopefully I'll still be able to keep churning out the videos and the streams and stuff. As for the Great Push, if you guys haven't checked that out, a lot of people said it was really fun to watch. They said they enjoyed watching it more than MDI. I didn't watch it, I got to play it, and so if you haven't watched those and you're looking to binge watch something or have something on your other monitor, maybe throw up the Great Push VODs from, it was on Twitch actually, or YouTube. Both of the Warcraft channels had those. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. I think the format changes were good. They were definitely better for the viewer. As a player, it was a little bit like it definitely made it harder on us. It was a hard event, but at the same time, like it's not supposed to be that high stress of an event, you know. I can say it's hard on us as players, but like the prize pool isn't super big and the time frame isn't super big, you know. It's not meant to be like, you know, everyone's super min-maxing every element of the rules. Like it was just sort of a, you know, a week-long event, and it was very fun. I enjoyed it. And lastly, Legion Mythic Plus. I've been enjoying Legion Mythic Plus as well. A couple of the common questions that I get about Legion, since I've never played it before, this is my first time playing it. First of all, what do I think of it as a whole? I think Legion dungeons are fine. I think people who talk about Legion M Plus being the greatest thing ever are mostly talking about Legion as a whole, like when Mythic Plus was new, when we had Legion character design. I don't think the dungeons inherently, you know, like you walk into these dungeons and you're like, oh, this is the greatest, like these are way better than Shadowlands. I would say on average they're probably like the same maybe, or, you know, different, I guess. One nice thing about Legion is they don't have... Nowadays they have this thing where every single mob and every single dungeon has to like do stuff, and so it makes it really hard to like pull big and just like, you know, blast mobs. But in Legion there's quite a few mobs that just don't do anything, that just auto attack, and I think that's fine. I think there should be mobs like that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. Like they can, like adding those mobs or removing them doesn't really make anything that much more complicated. It just makes the dungeons more fun because there's lots more targets, you know. As a tank, when you're tanking 10 mobs, it's a lot more fun than when you're tanking one mob, right? Even if theory, like, oh, the 10 mobs are pretty easy and they don't do that much. Like, it just feels good to tank 10 mobs, you know, and it feels good to blast 10 mobs on AoE versus hitting one guy at a time. So I think just more mobs in packs and in general is better. But yeah, that goes over my thoughts on the week and my boxes and everything. I'm gonna try and get some streaming in this week, but no promises, no schedules or anything, just kind of winging it and going day for day. So I appreciate you guys watching. Wish you guys luck. Hopefully you guys get some IO and you're able to hit whatever goals you're looking for, whether it's your vault, you know, just getting your vault, or if you're trying to push, you know, Keystone Master, or getting your 20 portals, or getting Tormented Hero, or going for #1 in the world. Whatever you're doing, good luck and happy keying, friends.